They came to this forest for profit, but something here was waiting for them. They didn't notice Elena, and that was exactly how she wanted it. The helicopters kept coming, one after another, slicing through the silence of the forest like they didn't belong there. Below them, an untouched world, an endless ocean of green, dense, alive, nature existing without asking permission. But to them, it wasn't nature. It was opportunity. They stepped out wearing luxury shoes, adjusting watches and accessories worth more than entire villages. Laughter, polite conversations, silent calculations, carbon credits, ecotourism, sustainability branding, clean words, safe words, responsible words. But behind those words, there was always money, always. And just a few steps away, watching all of it, stood Elena Voss, 25 years old, calm, composed, observing. She didn't rush to greet them. She let them arrive, let them feel important. Then she stepped forward, slowly, controlled. "Welcome to Eden Reserve." Her voice was soft, measured, almost kind. One of the investors smiled. "Beautiful place." Elena gave a small nod. "Yes." A pause. "It used to be more than that." No one understood, and that was perfect. They followed her deeper into the forest. The air shifted, cooler, heavier. A strange silence settled in, not empty, but full, like something was listening. "Is it always this quiet?" someone asked. Elena didn't stop walking. "Only when it's watching." A few nervous laughs, but not everyone laughed. Minutes later, they reached the building. Glass, steel, luxury, carefully placed in a world that never asked for it. Inside, everything felt controlled, conditioned, safe, and just like that, they relaxed. Because humans always feel powerful when they're comfortable. Elena stood before them, her eyes fixed on the endless forest beyond the glass walls. "This forest," she said softly, "is one of the last untouched ecosystems in the world." They were listening now. Really listening. "Together," she continued, "we can protect it and make it sustainable." Heads nodded. "With your investment," she paused, "we don't just protect it." She looked at each of them, one by one. "We own the future." They thought they were the buyers. But Elena, she was remembering the past. 15 years earlier, no helicopters, no glass, no investors. Just a village hidden deep in the forest, her home, her life, until the machines came. Loud, relentless, unstoppable. Trees fell. The ground trembled. Men with contracts and weapons spoke calmly. Legal acquisition. Development project. But the truth was very different. Families were forced out. Some resisted.
They might be listening.
And then
I understand.
they disappeared. Official reports called it relocation complications. Clean words, quiet words. But Elena never forgot. Not the sound of the machines, not the smell, and especially not the faces. Back to the present. She looked at them now. Older, richer, more confident, but unchanged.
To our partnership.
The man who signed
May
the
it be
contracts,
prosperous.
the woman
And
who funded the
successful.
operation, the executive who made the families disappear. All of
We
them.
need to move. Yes,
Here.
I'm here, bad.
Insider project. Insider trap. That night, the forest changed. The silence grew heavier. No insects, no wind. Marcus Hale stepped outside to take a call. Confident, arrogant. "Yeah, I'm doubling my investment tomorrow. This is easy money." Then, silence. A sound. Soft, subtle. Something moved behind the trees. He turned. Nothing, just trees. Endless. Watching. He let out a nervous laugh. Probably animals. But it wasn't animals, it was aware. Inside the building, Elena stood by the glass. Still, calm, waiting. Her assistant stepped closer. "Everything is ready." She nodded slightly. "Phase 1 begins tonight." Outside, Marcus walked further, then stopped. The path behind him was gone. No lights, no building, just forest. "Hello?" No answer. Somewhere in the trees. Something moved. Not fast, not loud, but deliberate. Inside, Elena smiled. Not warm, not kind, but the kind of smile you have when justice is no longer a hope, but a plan. They came to buy the forest, but they forgot one thing. The forest doesn't forget. And tonight, it remembers everything.
They thought the worst was behind them, but the forest was only getting started. Before we continue, subscribe, share, and like, because it helps us keep bringing you powerful stories. Yeah. Inside the darkness, no one moved. No one spoke. The power was out. The glass walls that once made them feel safe now reflected nothing. Only shadows. Breathing filled the room. Uneven, nervous, human. Then, emergency lights flickered on. Dim, red. Everything looked different now. The same room, but colder, smaller, like the walls had closed in. One investor stood up suddenly. Okay, that's enough. What is this? No answer. He turned to Elena. You said this place was controlled. Elena didn't react, didn't blink. I said, she replied slowly. This place is protected. Silence. Outside, the forest shifted. Not violently, not suddenly, but undeniably. Closer. Inside, something changed in their eyes. Doubt, fear, realization. For the first time, they weren't in control, and that feeling was unfamiliar, uncomfortable, dangerous. Far away in the darkness, Marcus was still alive, barely. His legs trembled with every step. His breath came in short, broken waves. He tried to focus, tried to think, but the forest didn't let him. It surrounded him, not just physically, mentally. He turned slowly. Everything looked the same. Trees, mist, shadows. But something was different. The silence. It wasn't empty. It was listening, watching, waiting. A branch cracked above him. Marcus froze. He looked up. Something moved across the canopy. Fast, controlled, not hiding anymore. Watching him from above, he stumbled backward. No, this isn't real. But it was, and deep down, he knew it. Inside the building, tension spread like a virus. Phones had no signal. Doors didn't respond. Systems were dead. One investor tried to laugh. This is some kind of test, right? No one answered, because no one believed that anymore. Elena stood near the glass, her reflection merging with the darkness outside. Her assistant whispered, "They're starting to panic." Elena nodded slightly. "Good." A pause. "They need to feel it." Outside, Marcus saw something. A light. Far away. Faint. The building. Hope rushed through him. He started running. Faster. Ignoring the pain. Ignoring the fear. Branches cut his skin. Mud slowed him down. But he didn't stop. The light got closer. Clearer. Stronger. He smiled for the first time. I made it. But then he stopped. Because the light stopped moving, no matter how fast he ran, the distance didn't change. His smile disappeared. His breathing turned into panic. No! He ran harder, desperate, but the forest didn't let him get closer. It kept him exactly where it wanted him. Then the light vanished, just like that, gone. Darkness again. Marcus collapsed to his knees, completely broken. I didn't know. His voice cracked. I didn't know. Silence answered him, then, a voice behind him, calm, close. You did? Marcus froze. Slowly, he turned. A silhouette stood there, still, watching him. You signed the papers. Marcus shook his head, tears mixing with dirt. It was legal. We had permits. A pause. Then the voice answered, and they had lives. Silence, heavy, unavoidable. Yeah, I didn't kill anyone, Marcus whispered. No, the voice replied softly. You just made it possible. Marcus's body gave in. He fell forward, hands in the dirt, breathing like a man who finally understood. Around him, shapes began to appear, not fully visible, not fully real. Figures, watching, silent, the past, the ones who had been erased, and the forest, holding them all. Inside the building, everything collapsed. People shouting, arguing, blaming. This is insane. We're being set up. Yeah, we need to leave now. Elena stepped forward, her voice cut through the chaos. You already tried that. Silence. They looked at her. Really looked at her this time. Not as a host, not as a business partner, but as something else. Someone else. You took land that wasn't yours. She said, you erased lives like they didn't matter. You called it progress. Her eyes moved from one face to another. Slow, precise, but nothing disappears. A long pause. It stays. In the ground, in the trees, in the silence. And tonight, it answers. One of them stepped back. Who are you? Elena didn't hesitate. My name is Elena Voss. A breath. My family lived here. Silence, heavy, unavoidable. You burned our homes. You erased our names. You called it relocation. Her voice didn't break. It didn't need to, because the truth was stronger than emotion. I was 8 years old. No one moved. No one spoke. I watched everything disappear. A pause. And no one came back for us. The room felt smaller, colder, real. Outside, the forest began to move. Not violently, not loudly, but everywhere, at once. Inside the building, the lights flickered again. Then, one by one, they shut off. Darkness consumed everything. Someone screamed, another cried. But the forest didn't rush. It didn't attack. It waited. Because fear was part of it. Time passed. No one knew how long. Minutes, hours, or something else. Then slowly, the emergency lights came back. Faint, unstable. The room was different now. Quieter. Emptier. Some were gone. No one asked where, because they already knew. Elena stood alone near the glass, her reflection blending with the jungle behind her, calm, still, unshaken. Her assistant approached slowly. Is it over? Elena looked outside, at the forest, at the darkness, at the place that remembered everything. No. A soft breath. It's never over. Outside, the jungle moved gently, like nothing had happened, like everything had happened. Marcus was no longer there, but the ground held the memory, like it held all the others. The forest didn't need revenge, it didn't need anger, it only needed time, because time reveals everything, and nothing truly disappears. It waits, it grows, it returns. Elena closed her eyes for a moment, not in sadness, not in relief, but in understanding. Justice doesn't always come loud. Sometimes, it comes slowly, silently, naturally. She opened her eyes again, calm, certain. They came to own the future. A pause, her reflection fading into the glass. But the past was still alive. Outside, the trees stood still, watching, listening, remembering. And in this forest, her voice softened, nothing is forgotten. A final silence, deep, endless. And when the time comes, the faintest hint of a smile appeared. It all comes back. If you've made it this far, you already understand. Some places don't need protection. They need respect because nature doesn't belong to us. We belong to it. And when we forget that, it reminds us, not with anger, not with violence, but with truth. And truth always finds its way back.